Hello, darlings. Welcome back to the channel. This is Nomadic Bernard's Tarot 101, a tarot tutorial channel, the sister channel to my main tarot reading channel. I hope you'll check it out. There's all sorts of information about me, who I am. I'm a tarot reader and a tarot author of many years. And this is a fun new ongoing project that I'm doing every single card in the deck. And then eventually, cards about putting it all together. So free tarot. Learn how to read tarot for free. Kind of cool. Well, okay, advertisements, maybe. Sorry about that. Such is capitalism. But anyway. Well, darlings, hold on to your knickers because we're doing the Three of Swords today. Now, a lot of people are, very sad to see the Three of Swords. And it's not a great card. I'm not going to try to spin it as a great card. But I will say that sometimes tarot speaks in very dramatic language. And the Three of Swords is a card of Sturm und Drang, right? It is a card of high drama, high emotion. And sometimes the actual thing that happens is not as painful as depicted here. In every single one of these, even stuff that doesn't actually have traditional imagery, it's three swords or three piercings of the heart. Pain, a painful revelation, is the most concise interpretation of the Three of Swords. This is a very iconic image. There's even a tiny one on her book. She's reading a sad book, a tragedy. There's a beautiful one in the Aquarian Tarot. But most fundamentally, the Three of Swords is a card of painful revelations that change the state of things. You find out some information about somebody that makes you realize you can't be with them anymore. Someone cheats on you. Someone betrays you in some way. Someone confesses feelings that are different than what you had hoped for. It's a card of disappointment. Now, I have a tendency to think that the arc of justice bends towards the good, even if the arc is very slow in getting there. Okay? But it doesn't mean that it isn't happening. So sometimes, what is that beautiful phrase I think is so brilliant? Rejection is protection. So when the Three of Swords happens, sometimes it's a big deal. I mean, sometimes it's a marriage falling apart. Okay, I won't even lie. Sometimes it's big. But sometimes it's the smaller pain that prevents the larger pain, right? The person you want cheats on you and it's before you get married, and thank God that happened then, because now you're not going to marry them and have to go through a divorce. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is the heartache that comes from not getting what you want. The tragedy in a book, a thwarted romance, a crush that's unrequited, all these things where you finally get instead of just being that state of limbo, that state of limerence, of longing, desire, wanting, something happens that poop, 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 puts the final thwack into it, and you go, oh wow, okay, nope, nope. It's not as final as the Ten of Swords, which we'll get to soon. But it is a card of, you can't ignore this. I'm afraid you're going to be knocked out of your reverie, your fantasy, and into reality. And the reality is, no, not for you. But it doesn't mean that there isn't something better for you. It doesn't mean that there isn't something sweet for you. And it doesn't mean, again, that the rejection isn't protection. So many times, especially when it's something that we want so badly that we feel terrible heartache when it doesn't happen. In retrospect, we look at it, at that longing, that limerence, that desired thing, and we go, oh, thank God I did not get that guy, get that girl, get that thing, get that job. And in hindsight, you're just so grateful because you know that later on you've been spared something bad, much worse. So this is the little pain that prevents the huge pain. That's the most tender and genuine thing I can say about the Three of Swords. It doesn't mean it's not painful. There are cards around it that can mitigate that pain. If this card shows up with the Ace of Pentacles, or actually any of the aces, it means you were removed from absolute. This reinforces what I was just saying. It removes you from the pain in order to give you something beautiful and new. And this pain needed to happen. This clearing away needed to happen in order for you to receive the new. Right. If this shows up with the Two of Cups, well, it's a breakup. Yeah, it's a breakup. I mean, there are certain card combinations that are what they are. And knowing that that might happen might help you be forewarned, to be careful with your heart, to know what the energy of what might be coming, or depending on where it lands, it could just suggest that in the past you've been badly hurt, you've been badly betrayed, and that makes you in a Two of Swords energy. That puts you in a no, me no want, no romance thing. I mean, and that's also fine. It can show trauma, right? I don't know how anyone lives in the real world without surviving and having to be in the world and function without trauma. We're all traumatized, especially right now in the year 2025 when I am making this video. It is a very traumatic time in the world and in the United States in particular. Everybody's hurting. So this is a card that's a depiction of that pain. It doesn't mean that the rain doesn't make something grow. It doesn't mean that the clouds aren't going to pass. There's always clouds. I like rain myself. All right. So that's the Three of Swords. I hope you found this interesting and helpful. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. I would love to have this become a little ongoing concern, and would love to be able to continue making videos and make this channel grow as a real educational source for people that isn't, AI. This is human contact, 100%. All right. Bye for now. See you in the next one. On to the Three of Pentacles.